committee started. This is the workshop meeting. Next week, we will have, open up roll call. And at this time, that takes us into hearing anyone from the audience who would like to speak, please step up to the podium.
How y'all doing this evening?
Good.
I got an easy one this week, not a big deal. I think y'all are gonna like it. I put a post up a while back here and talking about the flooding in 10 Mile. And I got a little taste of what y'all go through. My phone rings about a dozen times. And that's it. That's it. And a lot of problems had nothing to do with anything. You know, I've got about a dozen phone calls, and I investigated all of them, and one of them turned out to actually be a thing that I think you should know about. I documented a drainage failure along Circle Valley Circle, a county-maintained road resulting in water overtopping the roadway, standing water on the adjacent private property, and water flowing beneath the manufactured home. The purpose of this request is for the commission to take action to direct the highway department to restore proper drainage. The homeowner stated that she contacted the highway department, county mayor's office, and her district commissioners. Despite these efforts, no correction actions has occurred. I'm not blaming anybody. You're busy people. You got a lot going on, and it probably just got lost in the shuffle. This request just seeks a little clarity and resolution. Circle Valley Circle appears on the county maintained road list. The county right-of-way is documented as 50 feet wide. The pavement width affected by the location measures approximately 19 feet wide, placing the roadside ditch clearly within the county right-of-way. And that'll be the map on the very, I think I put it as the last page. There's some photographs attached. I only have a black and white printer. I apologize if you need color pictures to see them a lot better. I can send you an email. You guys can just email me at nacountypodcast@gmail.com. So you can see standing water, water flowing beneath the manufactured home, and this creates liability for the county. This is the site. The water flowing under the home will eventually erode the soil around the stands, and if we don't get this fixed, we're going to be on hook for damaging somebody's home. I know the mayor and Commissioner Vaughn have seen my resume, and if you don't know about my experience as a home inspector, you can ask them. They will tell you I am qualified to make professional observations and render an expert opinion on this subject. The Highway Department website, webpage, official county webpage, says maintains approximately 370 miles county roads, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it does say that ditching and debris removal as needed. Ditching is clearly identified on Highway Department webpage as routine maintenance, clarifying it as a published county policy. Just so there's clarification here and everyone understands, Tennessee Code annotated 547109 defines responsibility for construction and repair maintenance of county roads to the Highway Department, and TCA 55101B, that's legislative authority in the County Commission. Article 7, Section 1 of the Tennessee Constitution establishes the Commission as the governing body and power to set priorities and direct lawful action of county departments. I would request that the County Commission pass a motion directing the Highway Department to make a priority, and non-emergency priority, obviously. Looking at it, you know, no one can, the weatherman can't predict the weather. If we get a bunch of gully washers this summer, it's probably going to threaten the home. If we have relatively dry summer, you might have a little bit more time. But it's something that you need to get out there and make sure that that gets done in a reasonable amount of time, which we can even establish here today if you all want to talk about it. You know, the pretty.
I've been out there and I talked to the highway supervisor about it twice.
Yeah.
I've been out there.
Yeah, so if they have, you know, how long ago was that?
The last time I was out there was probably around Christmas.
Okay. So I don't know how long.
It's been going on since I've been in office, so I think it's an ongoing issue.
So I'm just asking for y'all to pass a motion to say, hey, guys, you know, give them a little nudge and get them out there before we end up on the hook, you know, we got enough bills. You know, the law should be applied equally to everyone, not just in restrictions and consequences, but in benefits as well. You know, and just because somebody isn't connected well, you know, doesn't mean they can be ignored. So, thank you for your time.
Anyone else? There you are.
Are you calling me out?
You want to speak?
I just have one question. I wonder if we made any progress on that floor out there at the jail.
Dehumidifier, working well.
Yes, they are.
And what'd you say they did that?
Dehumidifier.
Dehumidifier, working well.
Oh, great, perfect, thank you.
Anyone else?
I've got a request real quick. Can we reserve the right to respond to your jail options after y'all talk about it, since we don't know what you're gonna say?
I will give a short, this one time, I will give a short opportunity to speak afterwards. But we have to conduct the meeting, I mean, it is timely manner, but I will give you anyone a short opportunity to speak. Right after that.
Thank you.
This is a meeting where we can talk about the whole thing a little bit, right?
No,
You voting in that?
no.
You still have to call them for the changes.
Anyone else here? Did you want to speak?
I'll wait after y'all talk about the jail.
Okay. Okay. Not hearing anyone else, we'll move on. We will have, minutes for June, January 26th. We'll also have the trustees report. That takes us into business. Billy, do you have any updates on that? It was tabled last month.
Well, thank you. As far as the tax freeze go, when I talked to y'all a few months ago, I mentioned that I would like to look into some updated mapping software, and I have done that. I got a quote back, and really, I don't think it's economical for the county to, or, I mean, it would be great, but it was $25,000 to $45,000 for a flyover, $7,000 a year for the subscription. Now, the reason I did check into it was because Ray County is on it, and Bradley County is on it, and I was told that, well, they probably got Meigs County already on there, they probably wouldn't charge you for a flyover, but the deal was, they got the northern part of the county, which they wouldn't charge us for, but they don't have the southern part, basically first and second district, they don't have, so, they would have to do a flyover, so I really don't think it's economical to do, as far as the mapping, the update and the mapping software with respect to a $25,000 to $45,000 flyover charge. The one thing is that Ray County, I asked them what they paid, and they said, well, I really don't know, said the 911 department pays for it, we just use it. So, I will talk to Stephanie Dunn and see if there's interest from the 911 department, because I know that's separate from county government. As far as the tax freeze, I mean, hey, it would be great for senior citizens, folks that could qualify for tax freeze. The one thing is that we are in reappraisal right now. So even if you all approved it next week, there's not gonna be any savings for this coming year. If you did it next week and we set the values with reappraisal this year, next year, if there was a tax increase, that's when there would be some benefit. So I don't think there's any actual savings going to be done this year because we are in reappraisal and, the values aren't set yet, the tax rate, it won't be set probably till about June, sometime in June this year. So, that's really all I've got on it. The one thing is, I've always been told that if the county really wants to help the property tax owners, the county, the next step would be to look at matching the tax relief. You know, the state pays their part, the county can pay their part, and it wouldn't be any additional work on the county departments. But that's, as long as I've been in the business, that's the one thing I've been told is matching the tax relief should be the next
See
step.
what
that the county-
percent the state does have you know?
It's typically 50/50 spreads.
Yes, Stacy Hyde would be the one, the trustee would be the one to answer that. But, the thing about the tax freeze is you do have to apply for it every year. And it is a deal that everybody that applies, the assessor is supposed to go out and verify and see if anything has changed on the property, like a deck being added, a garage added, addition to the home added, you know, all that's supposed to be taken into account. If anybody doesn't have any questions, that's
How
all
much
I've got.
could we, you know, the tax relief is the way I see it go. If we could match some of it with the county, you know.
Well, I think you can. I think you don't have to
I
match 100% of what the state pays.
That's
You
what we
can.
need to get into the figures on right there, but I think that's the way to go rather than
Oh, I do too.
the tax freeze.
Yeah, I do. I agree.
If we could kinda get a number,
As long as
maybe
they-
you could get a number on that.
If it's not thrown back on us again because we didn't vote the tax freeze.
Sure. But but I believe that would be the way to go if we could, you know, not have to, give them a little more.
Yeah. And it is something, you know, I would encourage the public, you know, right now, the tax relief is 100% state funded, so, you know, anybody that can qualify, hey, that's a great thing, and it doesn't affect the county budget at all right now.
Chairman, it's 30 million statewide, so it depends on how many are participating, how drawn out that is.
Okay.
Bill, about how many do you think where it is on that? Or do you know?
Stacy said around 126 or something like that, 120.
It could be, I think that there was one time I thought it was about 180, but not every, the veterans would not qualify for the tax free.
Yes.
So the veterans would be even, so that number's gonna be even less.
But if we give them on the relief,
Yeah.
everybody would get it.
Everybody would
So
get it.
Right, however many qualifies for the tax relief that the state funds would qualify for what the county would fund.
I think that's what we need to do some checking. I'll check with Stacy and see what,
See what the numbers are anyhow.
Pardon me?
See what the numbers are.
Yeah, I will. I'll do that tomorrow. Have an answer by next week. Do we want to look at this as far as taking any action on this month?
I think we need to talk to Stacy before we ever.
Yeah, we need to table this.
Maybe,
Did I hear you pushing it off?
Thursday, next week?
Yeah, we what kind of numbers we figure out come Thursday, after you talk to Stacy Rich. And if we ain't satisfied voting on this commission, we can table it, but let's see the figures.
Yeah, that's what
I mean,
That's fine.
if I'm in all given on this relief, I'm all right with that.
I do think that's the wisest way for the county to go for the money. Okay, next item, jail proposal. Mayor?
I've been meeting with the sheriff and his administrative staff since probably we've been discussing the jail last. I think we've had 3 or 4 meetings, and the sheriff and his administration, they've had a couple of meetings. We've got 2, prospects we want to show you tonight. I'm gonna pull them up on the screen. They're just basically a floor plan of the existing jail with some add-ons, because we know the commission is leaning, you know, towards just adding on to that jail and not building a new jail. So we're just gonna give you all some drawings that we've done, and if the commission doesn't like either one of them, we're gonna keep working, and we'll keep bringing you back ideas, but if at some point we present something to you all that you kinda like, then we'll have some discussion on next steps on how to maybe get a plan drawn. At some point, when we come to something that you guys are happy with, then we'll need to make sure the state will give it the thumbs up that it could be certified. We don't want to spend any money on nothing until we know that it could potentially be a certified facility. So, let me pull this up, and then I'm gonna go over here to one of these TVs, and see if I can go over, explain to you. Russell is gonna explain one of the images, and then I'm going to catch this first. Okay. So this TV, I apologize for it being dark. We got a new one in today, and didn't get it up. I'll have it up by next week. So, what you see here, these images came from the floor plans when the jail was built onto in 2000. That's where this image comes from. Here is the current jail, and then right here is that little area that former Sheriff Hickman talked about that was in one of the plans was a pod. So in this concept, we have a pod added on to the building right here, and you'll see it kind of encroaches out into the parking lot quite a bit, and that's not the best thing. Between these two pods would be a single bay sally port, which in theory would provide a sight and sound barrier between the female inmates and the males, and that was one of the things that they've been focused on. So we could, in this concept, we could possibly house the females here, sally port here, and then back here, this is a section of the jail that I think is referred to as cell block C.
Yeah.
See, this is the original part of the jail that is the oldest section of the jail. This is where we have some more problems. And in this concept, we would demo this part of the building. We would encroach into the existing structure, dig it out, and this little line up here, if you went behind the jail and you notice that rec yard, this would extend the structure out to the dimensions of that rec yard. So we would be basically about doubling the size of it. And in this section, we could add a combination of holding cells and maybe another cell block. The number that the sheriff kind of feels comfortable with, if we could get this structure to 100 to 110 beds, he feels comfortable that that might get us down the road another 20 years possibly. Because we would be losing parking spots in this concept, additional parking spots were added. Now this plan that you see right here was actually something that the architects had laid out. It was not a chosen path that the county used, but this area right here is currently being used. But there was a provision to extend the parking lot back to here, basically to the property line, and add additional parking spots. And one thing before we move on beyond this, we are going to recommend that at this point, the county commission go ahead and take steps to acquire the TDOT property.
Yes.
And here's why. Because we need, if this works, and let's say you guys liked it, one of the things the state's been dinging us on is we gotta have room to grow. That's one of the criteria they look at. What's your growth plan? And if we had that TDOT property, it could be used as an impound yard on the short term, but if growth needed to happen beyond this, say our kids or grandkids, then there would be another property there that could be utilized. And I know that process, I've talked to Adam Castile, he's the Region 2 Operations Director for TDOT, and they're all ears right now. They want to know if this happens, you know, they want to maintain a presence in Meigs County somewhere, but perhaps we could have that conversation if you like this. So, I'm gonna bump this up to the next slide, and Russell, you wanna step up close enough to where you can show these folks on the other concept, and this other concept is gonna be a more close-up view than this one. So Russell, if I'm not mistaken, this bump out that you're gonna depict is right in here, correct? Right in this area?
Come back here, come out the back of the jail.
Okay, I'll pull it up. No, I've got the image you gave us. This concept would actually involve using the T-Dot property, because if you know where that garage is, right behind the jail, this would actually take that up.
You don't have the one he dropped, the architect in?
No. No, I'm not seeing that, I just got what you gave us.
Okay, that's good. Well, his is a little different from mine.
Okay. I wish
But it's coming off the back of the jail, protruding into the T-Dot property, and adding a new booking area with holding cells, and then 2 more cells off to the side of it. And that would put us up to about 110 beds.
Now, for perspective, this area right here that's in this drawing, this is what you've seen in the other drawing for the bump out where we were gonna take out the old part of the jail and build out around the rec yard. That's illustrated in this drawing, and in this concept, we would not do the pod out front, because that was really gonna encroach a lot on parking, and this would be, in this concept, we would be adding a pod here and a pod in the back, and not necessarily the pod out front, is that correct?
Yes, it would be a lot easier to work with the cells back here than it would be.
That plan would involve taking over the T-Dot property, actually building on the T-Dot property.
Maybe also keep in mind too, this is our drawings,
Yes.
you know, it would take the architect to come up with the exact measurements so we could know the exact bed count that we could put in each. Like that first one, we just guessed the number of beds, but until they come in and do their thing, then we won't know the exact bed count. So that's one thing I have for the commission. I know we talked about firing the current company for retaining them. I feel like we need to kind of decide that, so I know which way to work with, which way to kind of go forward from here.
If you folks like either one of these concepts, that will be the next step, is somebody to draw it up better than kindergarten here, with the highlighter. Because the state will need to be involved more to decide whether.
That's a premium heat drop.
Okay.
Off the set that I dropped.
Okay, I can look this up.
I'll forward that.
Okay.
I thought you sent it to you.
Any questions? We don't need a vote from you guys tonight. We just want you to know that we are working on this. It may seem like we're not, but I know we're meeting pretty much on Fridays and just trying to come up with designs and concepts. And then at some point, you guys can give us the thumbs up or thumbs down. But when we find something that you all are comfortable with, then we need to talk about getting somebody, if not this architect, another architect, to kind of lay it out enough to present to the state. Because that'll be the final word. If they say they won't certify, there's no need in us spending any money.
Is there any way you can email us or get us copies of those prints when you've got them drawn out there where we can study?
This right here?
That one.
What's up there? Yes.
All 3 of them.
Yes, I can.
Cause that'd be a good thing for us to look at.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Already, I guess, 1.2 is the architect company we have now, he done this one for free, the one we just received today. But pretty much, I think anything from here on out, we'll probably have to pay for, so.
He does.
That's one reason we're kind of,
Where did you?
well, I mean, he didn't charge us an extra.
$207,000 go.
He didn't charge us any more, but from here on out, from my understanding, there's a possibility of being charged each time we present something.
any of these 3 plans, whichever one it might be, all of them's gonna involve bringing the existing building to.
Yeah.
Because any major construction to anywhere attached to that building, if the full building has to be up there.
That's gonna cut the current.
Which would involve filling the blocks on the walls that were hollow. It's something that can be done, but, yeah, once we do that.
We can do this in phases and get those ladies moved away, get our 2 infractions off those, and then start working. We're gonna have to keep a plan of action at all times. Like this one, if we done it phases, then the next phase, have a plan of action right on out. And, not put all the burden on the taxpayers.
What do you all be thinking about the T-Dot property too?
I think we need to take a vote on that this month. To move forward with purchasing or at least negotiating with T-Dot.
We need to see what it's gonna cost us to get that.
Yeah, we need to speak with them, see if we can make any negotiations, maybe swap something out, or something.
I don't know what the benefits, and maybe somebody can tell me what the benefit of them even being, whether they just moved on over to Mexico, and not even be there anymore. Is there a benefit for them to be here in T-Dot? I mean, I'm asking for.
They do the main roads around here. If they were in Athens or Benton, wherever they're located at,
I think there was a piece of metal laid up here across there.
I thought that's out of Ray County.
There was a piece of metal laid up here across from, AutoZone for 6 months that they wouldn't even fix the road down in the main town. That's state highway. 6 months, and they were right there. I mean, I'm just asking. I mean, I don't care whether it's there or not, but I'm just saying. I wouldn't get too involved with them. Let them move on where it make me feel as far as I'm concerned.
You got to check your
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I would think the first thing to do, if we are going to entertain buying that land, which I agree with that, that is room for, growth, which that is what the state's been handling some, or one of the things. Price to move them. I mean, let's get dollar figures before we actually go vote on something. So we know what we're about to spend on top of our jail that we're gonna have to keep out there and remodel out there.
Or are they gonna require us to
Exactly.
put back their structures that they're walking away from?
I believe there's a lot of questions to be answered before we put it to a vote, but I am all about getting that land for future use.
Can we authorize the mayor's office to pursue this and open
Yes.
up a line of communication?
I think we need to bring somebody up from, that represents the T-Dot and speak with them directly about, seeing what costs, you know, maybe even see if we can swap out something to move.
Well, mayor needs to have that conversation with them first.
But that needs to be done.
Well, the former mayor, I know, had conversation with them back, I'm gonna say 10, 11 years when we started this, had conversation with them.
I think Mr. Howe
There are information out there, Eddie, that the former mayor had got, or had acquired. So, yeah, they are interested in talking, or moving, or whatever. I just like to see it before we vote on anything, to know what it's gonna cost, or the taxpayer.
Well, we need to, I mean, we don't need to make any decision without seeing costs.
Okay, let's put it to a vote. If we're voting these come next Thursday, let's put it to a vote. Get Eddie the permission to talk to them, discuss it, bring it back to the full commission on what they want and what they desire, then we go from there.
So we're not committing, we're just fact finding.
Exactly.
I'm good with that.
What are we gonna do about our architect? Are we gonna keep the architect, or are we gonna
we need to fire.
fire the architect?
Yeah, we need to
If we
fire.
fire the architect, we're gonna have to put out a new.
We'll need to immediately look for one, because, we'll have to have an architect to do whatever we do.
Need to get
Oh, yeah.
one. Try to get 3 bids on them if we can. And we need to get everything that Southfield has got, all the paperwork, everything that we paid for when we let them go. We'd like to have a copy of everything.
I believe, in my records, I've got everything since we started talking to them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll have to dig it up and make copies of everything, but I believe I can find it. And I'm sure they'd probably offer it to us again, but
That's what we want to do.
I would think so. I mean, it's public knowledge.
So do we want to discuss that this month's meeting? Because like Brian said, he kinda at a loss of who he needs to be talking to. If we get rid of the contractor, if we get rid of the architect, then
We need to start about another, yeah.
we need to start getting another.
They would have to come to a vote, which I'm good either way, but it would have to come to a vote. Get rid of them, then we're back at zero as far as architect goes.
Is that what we entertain a month, or?
Oh, yeah, we need to get started as quick as we can. We're gonna certification.
Certification, you'll get certification after you fulfill the DPI, all the rest of that.
Well, if we ain't working on it, we ain't gonna get it back later.
I would like to see if the mayor, could you reach out and find any more architects before we get rid of this one, to see if there's anybody that's within the state that can even entertain us another presentation?
We have to send out an RFQ, which is not, it's not the low bid. When you're looking for architects, it's not the cheapest. It's a request for qualifications. And then we look at their qualifications and we decide which one we think is the best. And then we negotiate the rate. Now, the rate for architects is pretty standard. It's usually 10 to 15% of the cost of the project. You're not gonna find a whole lot of, I mean, there may be a few percent, but basically, when you go looking for architects, you look at the type buildings they build. Of course, we would want one that's built in jails, not parks and fire stations. So we would send out an announcement that, hey, we're looking for an architect that could design and construct a jail or remodel our jail. We'll get these little binders and folders, glossy pictures of jails, and then we would pick one.
That's what I'd like to see us do.
Well, one deal I've had with few architects around the school and this and that, the more they put in, just like the more they get. So, you know, you gotta we're gonna have to put something together, so.
That's what I'm saying, before we get rid of this one, let's find somebody else that can satisfy the taxpayers' needs on this remodeling this jail.
No, I need to satisfy the TCI needs and requirements too.
Well, that's part of it too, but I'm saying, what can they give, who can give it, if we don't even have a name of another company?
At this point, with Southfield, we have a construction manager and an architect rolled into one, correct?
Got two separate contracts.
Two separate contracts, but they are working together.
Architect, engineering, and construction.
Right.
Construction managers.
If we let them go, are we letting go all of that, or just the architect's portion and just replacing the architect? What, is
The
that what
larger
you're
question,
asking
they're
for?
two separate contracts, so.
Right. They have similar terms, so it'd be a good definition if you had one or not the other. Well, that's what I'm asking, is that what you're asking, dude?
Yeah, I'm clean out,
Completely gone?
clean out and start over.
Okay, the next step would be the RFQ. Are we looking for construction management and architect, or just architect first? What's the pleasure of the committee?
This company, I think South River is the only one that
There was two that contacted us.
but they do all three phases. Engineering, architect.
The only one that done it was Southfield. And there was two different companies, and I forgot the company's name, they didn't even come when we asked them to make a presentation. Southfield was the only one that came. When we put out our RFQ 10 years ago, 11 years, or whatever it was.
Okay. Any more questions concerning Bill before I open the floor up? Okay, anyone, briefly, please, go ahead.
What happened to that pad that
That's what I'd like to know.
Sheriff was talking about? Where'd it go?
I'd like to find it.
They can't find it.
There's no pad out
We
there.
found it.
It disappeared.
What, we dig it up, throw it away?
No,
No, it didn't.
There's an asphalt area.
There's a door there, they intended on
that
building
door
right
goes
there.
into the pipe chase.
They intended on building right there.
That door goes into a pipe chase. There's no way, it's a 3-foot hallway. That's just a pipe chase. There's nothing going on with that pad.
Well, they wouldn't have put that door there for nothing. It's about to, it's too, it's too much.
That's how you get to the park protection.
Yeah.
Do what?
How you get to the park protection, the sprinkler system.
That thing's too good off the ground, that top of it though, I mean.
When we're spitballing these ideas and drawing out pictures of what we could possibly do, are there any numbers involved on how much this design would cost versus this one? Or are we just going based off of what we like and figuring out that it could cost way more than this idea later?
You've got to get an architect to put the square footage to it before you can even imagine what the dollar is. No, we're just looking for a design, something that we can live with.
Is there some sort of way you could sit down with your architect and do these sessions where you're drawing and be like, this is, no, that wouldn't work because that's gonna cost way more than this over here? I feel like if you're sitting with an expert, they can probably guide you a lot better than y'all just drawing it yourselves.
I'll say this. Either one of these designs, any of these three designs, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, any three of these designs, we have to bring the existing jail up to standard, and we have a rough estimate of what that's gonna be. That's $8-point-something million. That was the option that the committee voted on at the special call meeting. That was an $8 million refurbishment of the existing jail.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's none of these add-ons.
That's no add-on, so that, any add-on is gonna be on top of that $8-point-whatever million that was. Because that's got to be done. That's got to be done.
So we're just saying, scratch all the voting that we've done on not building a new jail, and we're pretty much gonna build a new jail anyways.
That's the reason we got these
New
certified,
term.
because we went to, the meeting with a plan that showed 40-something beds.
There was various different options for solving that, but.
Then we had one that was lost, and it showed 22 more beds in there, and moving 14, you know, there was a plan out there, it just never was shown, I don't think.
Kinda like that pad.
Just talking about the pad being non-existent, is there a possibility it could have been asphalted over?
No, the level is not right. I mean, it's not even close. And the door that's supposedly going into the new pod is going into the pipe chase. All jails are built with the plumbing, electrical and everything, and the pipe chase to get it away from the prisoners, the public.
What's the difference in the bed count from option 1 and option 2 you presented tonight?
Option 1 and option 2.
Hey, you're one, you're gonna be one T-Dot land, you're the other one with the South Fork. What's the difference in the beds?
Should be, it's real similar.
I think they're similar, but.
Right out.
The second option's gonna give you kind of more room to expand possibly, you know, down the road. Okay, so my real question behind it, option 1 would cost us less money, we wouldn't be acquiring T-Dot land, correct? We're gonna accomplish the same goal. I think you're really, my personal opinion on the option 1, you're kind of cutting your space. We might be,
You don't have.
you may not be able to get many beds in there.
Option
When it's
1.
measured, yeah, when it's 110. Yeah, because if you went back, what we looked at before, which decreases the bed count from 56 to 40. We require first per person. Yeah, and then if you go out there, there's not that much room to bring out to the front parking lot. You might be able to get 20 beds in there.
No.
But probably not.
You can't get 20 beds.
So you're gonna be
It'd be 12 to 14 beds.
And then the backside though, see like the old part of the jail, the red yard, you're looking at just, you know, what do we figure? 20, I forget what it was on that picture.
Impound yard too, either plan is going to eliminate the impound yard. Plan 1, plan A, or whatever you wanna call it.
I was just talking about the acquisition of the T-Dot land in the second one, we said to acquire those extra 15, 20 beds, we don't know the exact answer. We have to add the cost of purchasing T-Dot land, correct? I just wondered about that.
And then you said $8.7 million to renovate what we had. When was that budget given? When was it gave? When did you receive that?
December?
December. Yeah.
Did they give you guys any kind of leniency for issues?
They gave us a $35 million option, a $21 million.
In that $8.7 million, when they presented that budget, if they can't fill the blocks, they start bowling out because the blocks aren't good, did they give any variance in there with a strict budget? Did they apply for any extras happening that they can't foresee in a jail?
There'll always be add-ons if the plan don't go.
I'm asking you, did they give you a variance to go above it, or is it exactly $8.7 million?
Well, that $8.something million was with them already there, with their equipment already there, their employees already there to.
No, I'm talking about, when we built this jail here, this courthouse, they say, hey, there's so many extra square foot of ceiling grid that we're gonna give you in this estimate. I deal with construction every day. Did they give you a variance? Jerry, you already shake your head, it's a valid question. Is there a variance they gave you that says, hey, this may go to 8.9, or this may go to 8.5 if everything works correctly?
I would say their estimate was just if everything went perfectly.
Well, that's a problem, right? Because like you brought up the hallway in the back, and it's just a hallway. Well, no, you have to have 3-foot spacing to walk to service the sprinkler system. That's a simple code in the sprinkler world. So you have to have that 3-foot spacing. So if that didn't exist, and it's not 3 foot, and they come in, you may have to widen that. So when you're asking that stuff, you've got to think about these little things right here that are gonna cost you. Very easy.
Only two things they did add on is, we're gonna have to figure out how to feed them and laundry. We're gonna have to add that cost on because they wanna tear up the kitchen and the laundry room, so, and that's extra also.
Well, no, I'm talking about add-ons, if they were in here and they're filling the block, and the block starts blowing up, did they give you a variance to apply for that, or is it just a strict budget? That was not the question. I'm saying, if the construction doesn't go, did they give you anything extra, or was it a strict budget? That's a pretty simple question. It's like a backflow that we put in the sprinkler system.
I think it was just an estimate, it wasn't a bid for a job.
Okay, I'm talking about things, so did they include extra, or was it really?
I doubt it. I would say no.
That's not asking the question, because if something starts happening, it can go from 8 million to 10 million like that.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh, it will. I mean, anytime you remodel, you always find something.
Well, that's why I was asking the question, did they apply anything extra in case there was a problem?
No.
What happened to putting the ladies over in the health part?
Dude, I'll be honest, that's just not gonna happen. That building is not fit for that. One reason, the exterior walls would have to go in and fill in. So, I mean, you're gonna have to, they got hollow concrete blocks. You've got a ceiling up top that they can escape right through. I mean, it's just a health department ceiling. The back floor in the back's falling through. I mean, you're looking at having to re-gut that thing so you can just move them over there. Plus, not to mention, now we got offices in there. Whereas in the past, the sheriff's office was at the jail, but it's not there anymore, it's got demolished. So the sheriff has to have an office inside the city, and it's where it's at now. So I mean, just using that building is not feasible. I mean, not to mention up front, you got a bunch of glass, how hard would it be for pop glass to get out, pop glass and get somebody's throat? I mean, you're looking at having totally start from the get-go on that building.
Anyone else?
Yep.
Briefly?
Yep. Just based on what we heard, to summarize, it sounds to me like, I like the idea of putting things out. Because when whoever the architect is, going forward, they're gonna come in and ask you all what it is you're looking for. And so 1 or 2 or 3 different options, they may come in and say, well, you can do this, this, and this, instead of that, and you all may go, well, that's even better. But it's good to have these ideas like you all are drawing up. I think that's a really good idea, because that's gonna be something to get the conversation started. The other thing I noticed is, essentially, we have doubled the bed count. When we talked about, you were gonna, in that original LOA, we had cut it inadvertently and by mistake 16 beds from 56 to 40. That was a mistake, and I think everyone realizes that now, because for me, when I was here too, I didn't realize we were cutting beds when we said that renovated jail. That was a mistake.
That's why I voted no.
Pardon?
That's why I voted no on that option.
Yeah, I understand, yeah. So in order to get started with whatever architect, it's good to have these ideas, throw them out there to the architect and sit down and say, here's what we'd like to have. So we'll see what we can do with this, and then once you get that, and you get some money prices out there, say, well, this is what we can afford, so let's do what we can afford, which goes back to what Stanley said. The perfect scenario may not be feasible. We have to go with what we can, we know what we are here, and we're not big and we're not rich. So yeah, I like the idea, so whoever the architect is gonna be, these ideas and other ideas, that's not the end of the ideas. Y'all can come up with more, that's certainly not, but, I think that's a good start. But they will ask us, you all, not us, what you want, what you're looking for, and then they'll give you some options. And that's because they're experts. Architect is an engineer. They're some of the smartest people you'll ever discuss if you get the right one, dude. So I think that's good. I think that's a good start. And, summarize, we're gonna double beds. That's one thing I picked up on, we never really talked about. But 110 is double, right? Yes. So that may be what we want, but that may not be what we can afford. We'll just have to see. But going back to the health department, while that might not be feasible for a wing for the women prisoners, I don't know that you're gonna have to put these people somewhere temporarily until you get some of this other stuff done. I don't know whether that'll be here or Athens or Ray County or what, but you can't just like tear it down and them sleeping in there. So that's another thing you will have to consider. Temporary housing somewhere, wherever that is. That's all I got. Thank you.
Would hiring Southfield preclude them from applying again?
No, I don't think so.
Good. Because you want competition, if you're trying to get three, it's hard to find people. That might be a good negotiating tactic.
Well, I understand that we would just end the contract. I mean, we have to agree with the vendor. Each party has the option of terminating the contract.
And then I'd like to.
Their option to rebid it.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, not bid, but
RFQ.
whatever.
RFQ, yeah. And then I'd like to invite the entire commission to go back to that meeting and listen to Commissioner Welch's motion. Because he didn't specifically say that $8 million bid. I watched it over and over again. And if you listen to his language, you actually have a lot of freedom now, based on the words that he said. He said, do whatever it takes to get recertified. He didn't specifically call it that $8 million bid. So you can be creative at this point. You've got some room. It was a very broad motion, and it really didn't nail you down to that 40-bed option. You can pretty much do whatever you need to do to get recertified at this point, before you go huge, like Commissioner Moore said. You can do it in phases. And so I thought it was a good idea. Let's get step one done first and get certified. You can move the ladies and the overcrowding, are the two things on the PCR report. So you could start with that without spending $10 million.
Good.
Right. Going back to what the old sheriff said, he maybe oversimplified everything. It sounded like it wouldn't be hard at all to rip out the offices that he doesn't want to rip out. Put the women over there, that separates the women, who can be recertified in a month.
He said you could go in as a workhouse, and it's the same standard workhouse to do, exactly the same standard. So the hollow core blocks all have to be filled, the roof, ceiling all has to be replaced.
Just to move somebody in there temporary, you're saying it's total remodel, you can't touch anything without going all the way.
Right.
That seems a little ridiculous.
Well,
Who's telling you that?
talk to TCI about that.
There's no showers or anything over there either, we won't have to do showers.
There's no sprinkler systems, and you can put inmates in a building without a sprinkler system.
Okay.
I don't know that could be added.
Oh, yeah,
The old sheriff had a great plan, I mean.
Need to get on with it.
120 beds for 120.
So I got a question for you then, so if all this, y'all want us to a total deal, it's $5 million less than building a brand new one on Highway 30, which option would y'all want us to take?
Old.
The old one, when we voted on remodeling this out here at a.
The horrible location for that.
Why would you wanna drive in the beginning of town and see a jail? It's an eyesore.
I just asked the question, if $5 million difference, would you rather have a new jail or keep the old jail?
If the old one had a cost, what it's gonna cost us.
Okay, I'm gonna call it. No more.
We voted on December second to update the existing jail. So this question about Memorial Drive shouldn't come into play. Y'all already voted on December second.
We're gonna have to rescind that motion before we can do anything. We already have a motion for that, so this one has to be rescinded
Wait a
before we
minute.
do anything.
What do you mean you have a motion for that?
We have a motion to refurbish the jail out there and bring it up to code.
Before we could, to answer your, before we can talk about any other place, they've got to rescind the motion that I made on December second.
Before we can do
Before we
any
can
of
go,
these three
before we can go
options.
anywhere else.
Well, also, and if you didn't take into consideration the health department, if you did do the health department and brought it up to code to house the limited prisoners in there, are you still gonna have to bring the old jail up to code since you're not touching that building?
If you don't touch the old building, no.
So then what way to go? I mean, that needs to be another option before y'all vote on anything.
Okay.
Bring the health department up to code, just like the old sheriff said, you gotta figure it out. You guys wanna throw everything that's out the window again.
Next month,
Doesn't make any sense.
Do we have anything to vote on in commission's opinion to, as far as jail concerning, or are we going to talk about the contractor, or are we going to talk about?
I would like to hear, at least to get a name
Okay.
of Eddie, but I want nothing to vote on.
We won't have anything to vote on next week, so we'll just kind of slide across that one. Jeff, everybody okay
But
with that?
any information on Eddie gets between now and next month would be great.
Yeah. Other architect?
Yes, anything that
Just
satisfies
names.
the taxpayers' dollars, cheaper, better, bigger, small, whatever. But keep going out there, like I made my motion, keep going out there to remodel that one, to bring it up to code.
And we need to speak with
That's
the
taxpayers'
TDOT
dollars,
also.
taxpayers' do.
I think we need to do it phases too.
But we need to speak with TDOT also, that way it gives us an option also.
Yes,
That also needs to be looked at.
I agree with
Just
that.
gives us another option.
And just one more thing
I'm
here,
good with it.
I don't think we should even consider CDOT property without on the Memorial Drive property first.
Say it again. I'm
We do not need to consider purchasing the CDOT property unless we sell that Memorial Drive property first.
Well, that would be something to do to sell it back. I've heard that they would buy it back today. Okay, so, I mean, that would be, take and sell that and put it back out here, that'd be fine. I don't have a problem with that, but I would like to see what TDOT really wants. And that's the second thing I'd ask the mayor to get in contact with the TDOT, to see what it would take to move them, or what they want exactly. Because right now, we don't know a thing what they want, just all we want is that land for future renovation.
And money wise, I've been kind of preaching, y'all been listening, we've all done it for about, I've been here 8 years. The courthouse money needs to be designated to maintenance and building of the jail. That needs to be put to a vote.
It automatically goes into the fund balance. I mean, debt service, it goes into debt service.
We need to nail that down so it stays.
We don't generally, I don't know that we've ever taken any money out of debt services for anything except for vehicles.
Yeah, you know, I just don't wanna take no chances.
I think it's pretty nailed down. It's not like going in general fund, it's going into debt services. And debt services is where the payment for the courthouse is being paid out of. Any of your debt comes out of debt services.
Well, I don't want any debt, I want to be designated for jail.
Yeah.
So you can add a new wing to the jail without upgrading everything, even if you have to do upgrades to existing systems like HVAC and fire suppression and electrical, that kind of stuff that you connect. So it's totally feasible to do the health department next to the jail, add the beds like the old sheriff was saying, then do the backside, the existing jail can stay just the same, that $8 million goes out.
No, if you build anything attached to it, it's gotta be.
No, it doesn't, it's right here, Tennessee code. So, you know, you can gaslight us all you want, but all you wanna do is blow money.
You can call it what you want to, we go by TCI.
Right here, this is TCI. You wanna read it? Right off AI.
No.
No, I wanna know the truth, you just wanna gaslight us into thinking we have to spend.
You do know that AI is not always correct, right? Not
All
always.
right, moving on. We've got, county clerk fund transfer request. And there's a letter in there from her, moving from her reserve. Office equipment, purchase computer equipment.
That's no new money, just one reserve to another, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any questions? Next item is approve resolution to convey property from Polk County. Mayor knows about this.
Polk County got a grant to, purchase their fire department a, commercial set, a washer dryer set, like you see in hospitals or nursing homes. Just graciously giving us their used equipment. And they voted to do this at their meeting, and they provided this, resolution in your packet. I've never seen one like this, but basically, we would just need to vote next week to accept that. And then we would acknowledge on this resolution, and boys would go get it. So, you know, we've given away old fire trucks and different vehicles to other counties. It's pretty nice when counties can do that for each other. And basically, we're just getting some goodwill from Polk County. They were lucky to get a grant, and, I don't know if it's been announced, but Meigs County received a state fire grant last month also in the amount of $64,500, and that grant will be used to purchase an air compressor and a fill station, which they'll use to fill their air pack bottles when they go inside the houses. They wear an apparatus a lot like a scuba tank, and they're under extremely high pressure, like 4,500 pounds of pressure, and it takes a special air compressor. So they got awarded that grant, and they'll be installing that at their station 3, which is by the ambulance service. Okay, next item. I think is, Christie, Southeast Development.
I'm here tonight to ask, your blessing and to vote for agree with our Meigs County government and using Southeast Development District to apply for TDEC local parks and rec grant. And we can use our first car money that we've got and match that grant. And then, the Tennessee River Line has applied on our behalf of a group of counties or they're going to apply on an ARC RISE grant. And the TDEC money would match that grant. So if all the grants align, we could really leverage our money. Currently, we've got, between 3-Star and Tourism Enhancement, $323,000 to invest in the Big Field Boat Ramp project. And that will build a kayak launch and other things that need to be done in order to get the kayak launch built. So in your packet, is the, grant submission note, what Leslie has to fill out, a letter from the chamber, and then I've included the ARC, the Appalachian Region, this is the information Tennessee River Line put together as a pre-application template on our Riverline group grant and different things we'd like to see at the boat ramp. It is our demo site for the county, but these are some of the things that they would like to build if we got a combination of all the grants. So So if we didn't get all the grants, then we would just do what we, what money we have over there. TWA has started the permitting process on that, folks on the project already.
Now, is this the good field?
Yes, built on Concord. So it's near town and the Riverline town. It's easy right here, it gives people maybe back to town that need to spend money and then, they could put in kayak out of that slough into the main channel. We have the money for the kayak launch, and so this grant would just, you could possibly get another $200,000 or $300,000 to go with what we got, just to build more there, more units.
So you're just wanting the commission, the bodies to give you permission to go for these grants?
Yes.
You're not asking for any money?
I'm not asking for any matching money from you all because the state, and I did get, did you include that in the packet?
I did not, but we got a confirmation from the state that our tri-state money, which we have in hand, can be used as a grant match if the grant got funded.
Yeah.
And the county is the only one that can apply for this grant, so the chambers here is saying, will you apply? And the development district will be the administrator.
And they'll write the grant, and then those administer the grant.
I think that's the problem.
I think it's a no-brainer.
Any questions?
Christie, have you heard anything about the state taking that down there anytime?
Last I heard, I think maybe springtime.
I met with them today, CDEC was in my office. They say it's a sure thing, it's happening, they hiring people, and
They are interviewed.
they are,
Your mother is gonna get stayed, right?
she's gonna be on
That's
the
good.
job. And they say they'll be ready for us to hand them the keys by July 1.
Great.
That's their goal, but we do have money in the budget to fund it in case they slip and we have to cover it for a little bit longer, but I really anticipate them being ready to take it. They're hiring four full-time people down there. We have one part-time. They are really sinking a ton of money in
I
there.
know, I heard they were talking about 1.5 million putting down there, so that'd be a real big asset. I mean, that gives everything a snake park.
It will have a new name. It will be the Cherokee Trail of Tears State.
Are you sure? Because the last time I asked about the name, it was back up in the air.
Oh,
Because
well,
we're
that's what
doing
they
our
told me
brochure
today.
and,
Cherokee Memorial, what I heard, and I did see what you said, Trail of Tears.
Cherokee Trail of Tears State Park.
Yeah, they're wanting to tie it into the triangle, the Cherokee Triangle.
It'll be big for our end. It'll be big for our area.
Yes, it'll be big for,
yeah, but like 3 weeks ago, I'm like, can I use that name in our brochure? And the area manager, that's not his exact title, said no, not yet. So, unless they change their mind, and within 3 weeks. But I've not been told what we can put in the brochure. Cause we're getting ready to reprint, we'd like to have a good name.
yeah.
But yes, I'm just here asking for your blessing to let Southeast Development apply for this grant and, no matching funds from the government body.
Okay. Thank you. We have budget, or Board of Education budget amendments. And then we have budget amendments for the county. We'll ask Zach to address those.
Yeah, I can run through these real quick, and then if you guys have questions, just let me know.
Do it one at a time so we can vote, or, yeah.
Well, we're not voting
Go
tonight.
ahead.
Yeah, okay, unless I missed that.
You should have 4. I done a quick swap before the meeting, so if your paper doesn't have 4 budget amendments, I've got some more up here. We had a misprint. I think I got a swap before the meeting.
All right, so that first one, that's gonna be legal notices, that is new money. And we were talking about moving $3,000 from fund balance to help cover the cost of those legal notices, moving it into the commission. I think that's for the tax sales and then advertising in our meetings as well. Any questions on that one? The second one's gonna be unemployment, that's new money as well. That's a calculation that's automatically spit out by the computer. We just have to watch that one throughout the year to make sure we're not missing the mark on it. We're just asking for 200 to move up, from fund balance into the other public safety for the dispatch line, for payroll. Excuse me. County buildings is number 3. That's not new money. That's moving inside county buildings to a different line, and that is just to help offset the cost of all of the maintenance we've been doing on our elevators and our AC units. Number 4, this is the big one. This is inmate housing for the juvenile case everybody's been talking about. We have to house them out of county because we don't have the juvenile facility here in our county. And so we're asking for enough to house them until the fiscal year is over. We don't know how long this case is gonna go, but that total would be $29,295 coming from fund balance and then going into other charges. Any questions on that? Perfect. All right, thank you, Chairman.
Any questions on any of those budget amendments?
All 3, 1, 2, and 4 are coming from fund balance, right? So a total of roughly 33,000.
3 is the only one that is not new money, which is
Right.
moving that inside the county building.
Okay, I'm good.
I'm sorry, Jack, I didn't catch the number for the county building.
County buildings is gonna be 5,000.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, and that's just to cover maintenance for the elevator and the air unit.
Okay, that takes us into notaries. We just have 2, 3. And we have the information. We have the mayor's newsletter, annual report, economic development board meeting for December and January, and Board of Education receipts and transfers. Any questions from any of the commissioners?
I have one more thing to add. It's regarding the library payroll line. If you guys remember, what was it, Mayor, probably a few months ago, we were on budget time last year, wasn't it? That we had to move a few $1,000s back into the library line due to a maintenance of effort requirement. We put that in office supplies, and the library board, since they're hiring a new librarian, they're looking at adding that to the payroll of the new librarian to make that position more appealing, and kind of supplement that just a little more. They don't wanna add the full amount, but a cushion would be about 2,000. So that's not something we're voting on, but I want that to be on your all's radar. That's it. And if you have questions, reach out to Leslie for that. That's it.
Rick, I've got a question. We had a gun sale and we had a car sale over at the jail. Where might that money be and how much is there?
We used that money to purchase radios. That money went to the drug fund, we used it to purchase radios.
All of it?
That's been a couple of years ago, so I have to look back, but it was probably pretty close to it. Actually, it probably was a bit of it, and then we had to add something to it.
Well, that's the last time, when that 2017.
No, we've done this twice.
Looks like we won't later than that.
We've done this twice.
Yeah, this is-
Radios.
26 now, it's probably 24.
So there's no money in the gun or?
No, that went into the drug fund.
Y'all need a van over there. That would took care of one of them.